All right, folks, you're listening to WPVM 103.7 FM in Asheville. You can listen online at WPVMFM.org. We're doing some Busker broadcasts today, and I am Abby the Spoon Lady.
I'm Billy Scribbles.
And we've got Stevie Lee Combs in here right now, and we're going to be talking about busking with Stevie Lee Combs and his point of view on what is going on here.
Here?
In Asheville.
Whoa.
With everything. With
I
music,
mean, I do
with the way it makes you feel, with how it helps you learn, and where it's getting you going.
I have at least 3 relevant busker stories that I kind of been tossing around in my head. I've also busked in other areas of the country. I mean, I don't even know if I knew that it was called that, but I guess I got my start busking in Atlanta.
Yeah.
At the Flying Biscuit near Piedmont Park.
There you go.
Because I lived with a big-legged girl who liked to stay out late, and she did not enjoy music in the morning. So I learned that very quickly into our living together. So I often go out to get breakfast, get coffee, deal with the rage of being shut down musically. Anyway, I went to Flying Biscuit where they had a lot of people waiting outside because it was a busy restaurant with not a lot of seats.
Yeah.
So it was a good setup. And one day I talked to the manager and got a little spot out there. He said, yeah, sure, you can play. But in Florida, I never knew it was busking, but people would go to the beach sometimes and play because it was nice, you know. And I played classical guitar. I wasn't a singer at the time. I was studying. And I went down. Someone gave me like $5, you know. I wasn't even asking for it, but I was like, hey, that's cool. It's encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and have a little interaction. And then anyway, I went back to try to do it again, and they gave me a ticket. So that's a Florida busker story. So I guess it depends on how you receive or define a certain activity, you know, and a lot of this feeds into a larger sense of community policing or, you know, trust among the powers that be, you know, if people kind of have like here I feel like they have a kind of a laissez-faire attitude, you know, that it's kind of a little hands-off. I mean, they are aware of what's going on. I think they do know, you know, maybe their likes or dislikes or whatever the conflicts are. But I remember my first weekend here, I had kind of this, like, the feeling of, like, because I lived in Florida, you know, and some of the overdevelopment and some of the, you know what I'm saying, just some of the, like, even Key West, for example, which is a smaller artist community, taking in cruise ships or larger development and how that may have affected, you know, that vibe, you know. I remember I wanted to feel like, who can I thank? Sometimes you're in a city where you're like, who can I be upset with for how this is designed or, you know, how it's set up or, you know. I kind of felt like grateful, you know, like they had a nice public restroom, you know, everything was kind of accessible. However, I was on a kind of a business-like mission here to get a place to live, you know. So I didn't really take the time to busk, even though I wanted to. So, but by Sunday, I was literally moody and upset because I felt like everybody was getting theirs. You know what I mean? And I wasn't jealous of them, but I just wanted to get mine too because I felt like you could, you know. So I finally had to wake up early Sunday and go do it, man. You know, just to get it out. I'm a morning singer, so busking is great. I try not to get out there too early.
Yeah.
But you know, as early as you can because I want to sing. And often you can't sing as like you'd like to in your apartment or, you know, in your living situation.
Right.
A song, perhaps?
Yeah.
Gets me out of a lot of trouble when I start talking, I tell you that. I haven't violated any FCC regulations as of yet.
Well, how long have you been busking here?
Oh, I've been living here for 3 years plus. 3 years and some months, and I busked my first weekend, I think I did, and then I did it frequently, you know. Kind of get we get your cues, you know, I feel like you go out and see.
Yeah.
I eventually started busking with, you know, Slim.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. I have to give credit to him. I got a shaker in my shoe, Slim, and I got a kazooie kazoo, so, you know, just because it works.
Yeah.
I give you credit. I'm not trying to rip you off. Yeah. Well, I always I try to be true to my busker set here. I got some coffee and I got some health drink, some aloe drink.
And what song are you gonna play?
I'm gonna play an old jug band tune called KC Moan because I like to think my set always starts with the freight train. Nice old tune. Always got to make sure you have the right harmonica, you know, before you break in anything.
Thought I heard that Casey when she blow. Oh, thought I heard that Casey when she blow. Thought I heard that old Casey when she blow. And she blow like my baby was getting on board. Went to the devil, looked up the ball. Went down to the devil and I looked up the ball. Went to the devil and I looked on up the ball. Baby ain't here, she's further on up the road. Went to the graveyard to look in my rider's face. Hey. Went to the graveyard to look in my rider's face. Come on and look me in the eye, baby. Went to the graveyard to peep my rider's face. Lord have mercy on this lonesome place. Make me feel like moaning. Lord have mercy on this lonesome place. When I get back on that old KC road. Oh, when I get back on that old KC road. When I get back on that KC road, I tell you what I'm gonna do, y'all. Love my baby like I never loved before. I recommend y'all do the same now. Love my baby like I never loved before. On that KC moon.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a Memphis jug band tune, I guess. You know, one of them old routines, but I do this hybrid of that one in this Jake Lake Stumpers version with Mr. Jimbo Mathis singing.
Yeah.
I was blown away at this jug band with the National Jug Band Jubilee last year, the 10th annual. They really blew it out. She's so sweet, Heather. She's so nice.
Yeah, I'm real excited for that one this year.
It was cool. It was a big deal for me, and everything was really personal. Like, I met the guy from Jake Leg first thing. I went there with that's a cool jug band kind of story behind that. I'll maybe save it. But anyway, these barbershop quartet singers, I ended up playing this guy's birthday party. And I was working on it back in June last year, like, you guys really into jug band music? I could tell it's important, you know, so got to go to this event. So we went, and this guy met Maria Moldauer. First thing he did was blown away. You know, he's like 75. I think he had a 75th birthday. Right. A friend of mine. So he met someone that was really important to him. And anyway, she was qualifying. I'm like, you can come back this year, but last year was really a blowout. Like, she's so sweet. Like, let me know. Like, it's not like that every year. And I'm like, well, I love it enough to come back every year, no matter what.
You seem to have a real love for the way that the Buskers move, and the meaning of, you know, like the relationship between here in New Orleans and the other traveling
the Ramblers or
performers.
Rounders, or that's the term, I guess. I mean, I've come to, I didn't know until the music, you know.
Right, and I've heard you speak a lot about some of your own personal busking heroes.
Well, I mean, at the National Jug Band Jubilee, which is important, I'm glad you brought that full circle. I guess you know, maybe as an artist, as an individual, I might not have the most legitimacy, you know what I mean, or to offer. And I mean, again, in some sense, like, you know, I mean, I busk for the purity. There's a number of philosophical reasons why I get into it, but in short, I know that Maria Moldauer was being accompanied by Kit Stovepipe Stymie from the Quill Night Owls, I guess, and other bands. But I know those bands from here. You know, it's intimate. It's not like I know them from following them on Instagram or knowing them from YouTube. Like I know a bunch of New Orleans bands. I've never been in New Orleans, but I know the music from like watching stuff. You know, that access. But seeing it on the street is something that's direct. And I was blown away by the fact that this person was highlighting that this was the best ragtime picker she'd ever heard. Like, that's, I mean, there's Maria Moldauer, who's got more years in jug band music and playing with more you know, all the pickers, you know, the couple generations of. So anyway, the dude from Hokum High Rollers, just so many people, and then Slim was a big important part of that. You know, the Slim Reaper, Aaron. You know, as I remember him, he was. I kind of busking by himself. He's a great guy, a funny guy, and like I remember, I was just here and hungry, so I was hitting him up every day. Hey man, why don't you play? Let me play. You know, sometimes you got to get in the band. Let me play. And he, you know, it was funny. He had a certain way, which I kind of looking back, I say that's kind of effective. As a band leader, it's not totally effective because you don't give enough positive reinforcement. But if you're kind of like, no man, if you're reluctant at first, you know, I remember being like, I want to really win this guy over, you know. I want to play this music, and I want to learn it, and I want to do it right. I'm going to sing harmonies, and which is part of the Buskers group, I feel like. When you're really sharing the money equally, you should hopefully be trying to share as much as possible that you have to offer, you know what I'm saying? Right. Meaning that if you can, you know, after a few times, get in there on a vocal, you know, give it a shot. It's a great breeding ground. But I do think that just the Jimmy Rogers plaque, you know, meaning that he, you know, his I didn't know he had any career here, or that he started here, or that, you know, they never talk about that. They talk about where the recordings were made and where the artists were made, but we all know that like the artists are truly made on the road. You know, and here too, on their way in between. And you can't really get on the road with any certainty without that little security spot of knowing that you can pop off here and get a spot, or, you know what I'm saying, meet a friend. Because like you're saying, with self-regulation, all goes into the community too. If you're regulating yourself and you know how to hold it down and how it works, you know how to bring other people in and say, hey, come on, and we'll do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you how to do it, and I'll let you. I mean, you can do this. You can keep your dogs at my place. You know, you can factor it into your budget if you're making enough money. Some doggy daycare. You know, meaning that I don't think anybody wants to really, you know. I mean, you know, end up in that weird debate of what it is, or let's define what is good people or what is decent people. You know, because it's just not necessary. Because
that's not the point.
The music's decent. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. So I think, you know, it's important to know that people come through here. I know I was in Knoxville, Tennessee in 98 and 99. I left Florida, and I lived there for like 1 year. If I would have came here, I remember, again, just a little Buskers moment there. I was in the old city in Knoxville, like playing some tune, and, you know, the only guy that approached me was like the saddest hard luck guy in the world, you know. And I felt like, you know, I guess kind of blessed that, you know, I was singing the blues legitimately enough that he wanted to talk to me. But again, there wasn't any action. I didn't really feel welcome. I didn't feel like it was something that you do. You can, you know, that people play on the street. Again, I wish I might have visited here, you know, and might not have went back to Florida.
Yeah, Florida has kind of a reputation for not being very Busker friendly, and
I think again because they have a development agenda, and like it's just, again, it's something that, you know, I think of the Lebowski thing, you know, he's like, get off our beachfront community, Lebowski.
Yeah.
You know, like
Pretty
that's,
much.
you know, there's definitely a sense to maintain a cultural thing.
Yeah, definitely.
They're going to send us a cease and desist. Don't do it, Coen Brothers. We love your movie.
You should toss us another tune.
I will. Otherwise, you're in real trouble.
Which tune you want?
I don't even know. I'm trying to think about it myself.
Cool. I trust your judgment.
I'm gonna do a little blues. I'm doing a little Buskers thing here. I got some originals for you too, but I wanted to. On the street, I like to keep it rootsy. Yeah, we got that one.
Cornbread, peas, and black molasses. I don't want no cornbread, peas, and black molasses. At supper time, Lord, 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 at supper time. I got a letter from my mother this morning. I got a letter from my mother this morning. It said, come home, Lord, 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 son, come home. But I ain't got nowhere to make money. I ain't got nowhere to make money. I can't come home, Lord, 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 I can't come home. I don't want no cornbread, peas, and black molasses. I don't want no cornbread, peas, and black molasses. At supper time, Lord, 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 at supper time. If I could just make June, July, and August. If I could just make June, July, and August, I come home, Lord, 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 and I come home. But when I come back now, I don't want no cornbread, peas, and black molasses. I don't want no cornbread, peas, and black molasses. At supper time, Lord, 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 at supper time.
I like food songs.
I love food songs.
I do. Food. We need a food song event.
Food songs are great for busking too.
Yeah,
everybody can relate to food.
It's true. I believe it. I've been making biscuits lately.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. A new skill I learned. Prepping over there at Homegrown.
Who doesn't? What kind of person doesn't like biscuits?
I don't know. People you don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to mess with those kind of people.
That's the wrong side of the
Well, because
tracks.
I was raised in Ohio, Akron, Ohio, but by women, I guess from south of the Mason-Dixon line, from Hazard, Kentucky, the Combs women, you know. So I grew up with some southern flair in my life. I just didn't really know where it came from. I hadn't been surrounded by it. You know, most people I came up with, matriculated to Akron for work, the factory north, you know. But most of like the heart of the people I live with and came up with were from the South. They talked about that every once in a while, you know, more like in my great aunt when you don't know what hard is, and you know about the Kentucky, and I mean, come to find out, she was right. Hazard, Kentucky, you know, to my great grandfather, who I get my stage name from, Lee Combs. I mean, to keep it within FCC regulations. My origins are uncertain. You know, my father is kind of unknown. I never met him, but I know he was a musician. I know that much, and so my stage name is an attempt to make sense and find some own meaning in my own family history. You know, despite of what people say about you, or you know what I'm saying, again with the idea of being judged, even just as a musician. We look at this culture in America. Just being a musician can be, to me, it was a major source of guilt. I knew it was my calling, but like I came from poverty and I wanted to help my family. You know, I went to college to be a high school English teacher, I guess. I don't know, in some diluted way. I thought that that would work out. But again, this American music and the street thing, to see it happening, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's really amazing. Like, I mean, it doesn't always come from the buskers. Like, I was playing a Papa Charlie Jackson song on Pack Square. Some 16-year-old dreadlock kid throws me a buck, and he's like, Papa Charlie Jackson. I mean, that's a direct hit. Like, he's not saying, here's a buck, you sound good, bro, you're loud.
He's saying, I know kazoo. What that is and where that came from. I know
exactly. That's the money for the song, you know? Right. Those are very rewarding. Especially when it's a rare tune, you know, that you think, and that's what these cats are bringing. They're bringing repertoire. They're bringing repertoire here, new life. You know, some people ramble in spirit. I don't know, they astral project. I don't know what they do. They guided meditation, hit the salt cave. Some people actually have the, you know, the cojones, the chutzpah, you know, to go do it, to literally go hop a train. I respect that. I just came up in a way that wasn't accessible. I wasn't even thinking it was an option. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just didn't, like, you know, working class Ohio, you work, and then Florida, that's a long train ride. It wasn't a whole lot. And again, if you're in a place that's not sympathetic in any way to any part of the culture, you know what I mean? That I think, for instance, in Little 5 Points in Atlanta, like, I think that's a place where they didn't maintain stuff, you know, they didn't know how to regulate stuff. Like, every time, like, they're still kind of busking, but it always feels very solicitory, and like, they allow it in a small place. I'm not discrediting that place because I lived there and I loved it, but I felt a sense of, like, people had talked about a heyday, or a sense when it had been better, or, you know, and again, when you hear about that stuff, you wonder, I got a critical mind, so I wonder, well, what made it better, you know? And again, applying my critical mind here is, you know, again, how can we make it better? How can we be better to each other? That helps a lot, you know?
I feel like Asheville is kind of a unique place in the fact that we do have communication when other cities just generally don't.
Absolutely.
I mean, we might know each other, but there's no communication.
It's also small enough that you can find out, you know. I've had some issues with state politics and state government in my own personal endeavors, but as far as local stuff, it's been pretty accessible. Someone told me to do Belshare, got to do the last one. I went to go, you know.
There you go.
Some guy told me about it. My neighbor friend, this jazz guitar dude, like, stopped while driving down Merriman, did a U-turn to give me this form that he had just made copies of. You know, he's going to get his band to do it. And he's like, yeah. So anyway, I get the application from this dude randomly, and I go fill it out, and, you know, you actually can meet somebody and drop it off. So this was a big choice for me. I'm thinking about Austin when I was moving from Eastern Carolina, thinking about the numbers, you know, and thinking it's going to be a lot because I need something smaller and more community-based, you know what I'm saying, just based upon my own, what I need, you know, which is kind of mellow. I'm not as wild as I used to be. You know, so it's nice to be able to have a little bit of that, like you're saying, to rub shoulders with. I've seen amazing New Orleans musicians, man. You know.
Yeah.
And you know, at gigs, not just on the street. You know, Croquo Ninas had a residency at the 5 Walnut. You know what I mean? So again.
Right. Yeah. And folks have this misconception about why buskers may or may not be booking indoors and what's going on there. And the truth is that a lot of buskers just make better money on the street than they do indoors.
I mean, that's true.
Sometimes folks just really like the feel of the street better than they like indoors. Yeah. And it's absolutely nothing to do with the fact of whether or not you are or are not legitimate. That is completely not the point. And what
that's not the point in New Orleans. It's always been everything's legitimate. You know, the street to to the ballroom.
Right.
But if you're a good and well-rounded musician, you do everything in between.
Yeah.
Just like a server. If you're a server, I cater, I do, you know, whatever. Flea market, flea circus, concessions.
Exactly.
Twin City Barbecue Fest.
I mean, and it is what it is, and you get it where you can take it. And it's really hard to survive as a musician if you're not consistently working towards something else.
Absolutely, and the busking can be a nice neutral ground to meet up and see what kind of hustle or work ethic or talent somebody has.
Yeah.
You know, because you can feel it when someone's either fighting what you're doing or you're pulling a little more. You know, you just feel the spirit. I think you really feel the spirit of somebody.
Right.
And like I said, playing with STEVIE and Slim, you know what I mean? Like that. When I got here, that was great. I was so cool. Tub bass, man. I mean, I loved all those instruments, and that was my first introduction. Was literally to do it. And I would be familiar more with like a Florida thing, or Atlanta would be like no one would want to come do it with you because they think it's not possible. And out here, you see it happening so much, it just starts to get to you where you want to do it. Maybe even out of spite, like, hey, I think this person's terrible. You know what I mean? And like they're making money, like, you know, just out of a business sense. I think I could provide a better service. You know, that's not how I look at it. But I mean, again, I think we are comping in our mind. We're comparing.
No, I mean, I think it's human nature.
But I get work busking. Like, I can say that's one of those things that, like, you can't calculate how that works. I literally got a gig coming up in September that's like a yearly gig now. These, like, people have this family and friends reunion, you know, out there in, like, Ivy Creek, and I'm busking out there. I got the front porch stage, or used to be the Coffee Barn stage. That's your Corey Hills for busking Green Life. And who? And it's very Asheville, because the guy there is dropping off his little elderberry products because he has a farm. Norm's Farm or whatever, the guy who books him, you know, he's like a resident dude down there. He's been jamming for 35 years. So anyway, that kind of stuff is, I mean, how do you put numbers on that? You know, if we did like the credit card commercial, you know, the cost of the coffee from Green Life walking downtown, you know, bam, and then this, and then maybe waiting this much time. But when you're hitting the spot and it's the right time, you don't always get that confluence, you know, sometimes, you know, you missed it. It's like do a fruit tree, you see all the fruit on the ground. Yeah. You got a couple, you know what I mean? You know, it just happened. But I know that I've literally like left work one time. I've been like, I'll leave tonight. It's slow, you know, when I was waiting tables, and then go out to Pack Square and make more money than people made at work.
Yeah.
You know, and it's weird. That makes you feel good. I don't even know why. That money is, you can't calculate it. It's worth like 4 times regular money.
Right.
It doesn't spend like that. It spends like, right, you know, it spends like U.S. tender, but you feel like. And then what you usually do is you spread that love to your friends, or, you know, your lady, your man, you know, your loved ones. You know, you want to go home and be like, I made $90. We're going out, get some food. Because that's the thing is, sometimes I joke with the buskers, the $1 is going around.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of documentaries about black communities, like the Tulsa, the Black Wall Street, or just different, like, you know, really tightly knit communities that they say the dollar flipped 12 times, 8 times, you know. Before it went out of the community, and that one Busker dollar, it's like the little Grace, how you doing, buck?
Yeah.
You know, imagine, I know that. I've tracked it in my own mind. Like, we should have a Where's George Busker dollar.
Where's Busker
yeah,
dollar?
because it's just, where does it spend locally? You know what I mean? Even where I work at Homegrown. They're so blessed. They give me half price because I work there. You know. Don't come there just to get half price food. You got to work hard too. All right. But, you know, anyway, I would go there and get that, thinking about, you know. How am I going to save some money, but then taking it back to where it's giving me money anyway? It's always had a job for me, or you know, music-friendly people.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a big point of keeping that money local. You know, and it keeps you on your game. You know, it makes people hone their skills and tighten up. You know, you find out what people like. That's where great artists come from. There's a great book called Proust. Was a neuroscientist, and I'm a server. I've been in restaurant business for 20 years, and I read this book, and one section of the book was dedicated to Escoffier, the French chef that invented veal stock. He invented stocks and stuff. And what he did was he watched the reactions of his diners. He was revolutionary in the field of taste, and he was right on about what he had to do, roasting bone. Anyway, I'm not going to get geeking out on food. That's why I like food songs, because I'm a foodie. And if you're a foodie, you like to eat food while talking about other food. Which, if you work in a restaurant, you know that's exactly what foodies are. So I like to sing about food while thinking about what kind of food I'm going to buy.
There you go. There you
so
go.
Again, if you get that busker's money, sometimes you break even, but you break even beautifully.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you make a little 20 or 30, and then you're getting the Sovereign Remedies chicken salad sandwich. You know, bam, a French broad chocolate ounce shake.
There you go.
Still got a few bucks left, you know, but you're living large. So I know that Asheville always at least will buy my coffee. and my breakfast.
Yeah.
And that's quality of life, you know what I mean? And you can build upon that. If you need to go get a drink or a 40 ounce after that, I mean, do so with discretion before you come back. So the streets, do whatever you got to do, but you can also build on that, you know what I mean, and do what you need to do. So I've heard someone say when I first weekend busking here that this is a great town. When you come to have something to give, it's like a lot better than you just come to get stuff, you know? I think that's true for anything, but you know what I mean? Like, this place definitely can see. That's why I love to busk and do community stuff, you know, the markets, because I definitely came here to be involved with the community, you know. I don't think most musicians come to want to be, I don't know, just on stage or somehow removed in this ivory tower. I mean, there is the idol and there's these options, there's other ways of getting there, but like, I think the streets is the way. Anyway, seeing reactions, going back to Escoffier, that's where good music comes from, what works. People it hits, you know, if you feel it, you know it. That's an education in itself.
You want to do us another
Yes.
one? What's this one?
I don't even know. What am I doing now? I want to hit up original if I get to see. I don't know what we're doing. Just trying to give you a sampling of the typical Busker set. Let's see if I can sing a little something. This is called Hey There, James. I had a friend named James, and he was in a gang, and I was like, oh, you're in the 5'8" posse. How'd you get your name? They're like, well, we're just hanging out on 58th, where we always hang out, and these people wanted to fight us, so we were like, hey, we're the 5'8" posse. How serendipitous. I said, hey there, James, have you seen my baby? Have you seen her trade her breath for smoke out there on the lane? She says it's just a game when she don't know that I'm gone for broke. Oh no, James, she don't know, but the news broke like day, clear and serene. But my feelings gave way to the shadow play. Stakes are plain, don't hesitate, your bottom out in the bottle with prescriptions for your pain. I reminisce for the 5'8" kids stuck on a street sign trying to get yours. That's just a sign of these times. I said, hey, hey, oh, now, hey there, James. When will my tapes get fat? With my pages stacked, when that rocket you ride starts to roll, James, don't ever lose control. James, don't ever lose control. Listen up, those are the hook. Hey James, what's that I heard you say? Hey, James, what's that I heard you say, man? James, what can you gain in this game? James, what can you gain in this game? James, what's that I heard you say? Hey, James, what's that I heard you say, man? James, what can you gain in this game? James, what can you gain in this game? Yeah, Jamie.
Do you have a favorite song to start or stop with?
Well, yeah. As a matter of fact, I started with my favorite song to start with, the KC Mo
Yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah.
good warm up, but it starts with the freight train, and I always say my set ends with a Cadillac. So
Oh,
I always
yeah,
start with
yeah.
I always start with Casey Moan. I always end with Leroy Brown.
Ooh, yeah.
Bad Leroy Brown. I guess I should do that now.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's over?
No, we got 15 minutes.
Awesome.
Do another one.
But that does give, you're good at this. She's good. She leads you right there to water, and you can drink if you want. Or you could be like me and still talk about some weird stuff, but she's really trying to help you.
It's your hour.
Hey, it's my hour.
Yes, yes.
I haven't even got on my soapbox, but I do have a shine box. I'll get up on that thing.
Here we go.
All right. Leroy Brown.
Chicago, babe, now that the baddest part of town. If you go down there, you better just beware of a man called Leroy Brown. Leroy, more than trouble. You know, we stand about 6'4", and all the downtown ladies call him treetop lover. The men, they just call him sir, because it's bad, bad. Leroy Brown, and that's the baddest man in the whole damn town. Better than old King Kong, 109 meaner than a junkyard dog. Leroy, now he's a gambler, and he likes those fancy clothes. I can relate. Likes to wave his diamond ring now in front of everybody's nose. He got a custom Continental, and he got an Eldorado too. Got a 32 gun in his pocket for fun. He keep a razor in his shoe, oh Lord, because it's bad, bad. Leroy Brown, that's the baddest old man in the whole damn town. Better than old King Kong, 109 meaner than a junkyard dog. Friday night just a week ago, Leroy, he was shooting dice, and at the edge of the bar there sat a girl named Doris, and oh, that girl looked nice. So he cast his eyes upon her when the trouble soon began. Old Leroy Brown, I learned a lesson about messing with the wife of a jealous man. Oh Lord, how it's bad, bad. Leroy Brown, and that's the baddest old man in a whole damn town. Better than old King Kong, 109 meaner than a junkyard dog. Now the two men, they took to fighting when they pulled him off that floor. Old Leroy Brown looked like a jigsaw puzzle with a couple of pieces gone. Oh no, he was bad, but Leroy Brown, and that's the baddest old man in his whole damn town. Better than old King Kong, and now he meaner than a junkyard dog. Better than old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard dog.
As I call it, the Ferris Bueller of all songs. Remember that part and she said, everybody loves him. Freaks, geeks, bikers, and make a biker cry with Leroy Brown.
Well, how long do you plan on being in Asheville?
Considering I just had a child, my mobility has decreased. I'll be here for a while, as far as I can understand. I think at least as long as I've been here, I can give it that long. Like, what's that, six years? Yeah. I can see myself. I know this is one thing I should say about this area, that I think if you come through here and spend any time or hang out with the folks in the vibe, you'll be coming back through here forever. You know, and I think that's what we're catching on to too with the tourist thing. This is not a one and done situation, basically, because where we are, and it's not a destination only place too. People pass through here on their way. Like I know when I lived in Knoxville, just being on I-40, I saw bands that like I'd never heard of, never seen. Bands that didn't come to Florida, which is a crazy U-turn to come to Miami, to come to South Florida. I mean, that's a long ways from Atlanta.
Yeah, you probably don't get as many.
But I do see now this Florida connection between the off season here and the season there. You know, bands that are getting that work. You know, in Jacksonville. You know, in North Florida. You know.
Right.
Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. That's how it goes. Especially when you play music, you're doing lyrics. I got lyrics. The songs are tributes. You gotta, you know. It's weird with a tribute. Someone could beat you up if they don't like it, right? What if they hate it?
What's your favorite city to play music in?
Oh man, it's this one. This is above and beyond. It's surpassed everything. And I gave it a heck of a go in a couple other cities. You know, I mean, I always played music in Florida. I played with bands, but Miami was good to me too. You know, there was a lot of bohemian vibe in Miami. But I was trying to get schooled on a certain type of Americana. I wanted to zoom in and zoom out, you know, and you can do that here. You can zoom in on jug band, on bluegrass, on ragtime, on gypsy swing. I mean, literally, there's no reason why if you want to come and learn here, you can't.
Right.
I mean, there's different, you know, everybody gets upset about work. I think people have, you know, anyone that I know, I'm not using any names, people who seem like they've been here for a while or they're from here, they're doing pretty good. You know, that's what I've noticed. You know, I watched that. I said, I've been here 3 years, and I've won the Brown Bag songwriting competition when I first got here. I played some decent festivals, and people have turned to me to, you know, last minute type stuff. Yeah. I've dubbed myself the king of the patio gig recently. I think that I got more prestigious patio gigs than just about anybody out there. All right, I don't know if you play at ISIS or where you play, but like, you know, I'm just saying. Anyway, you know, being that I play by myself, it makes it, you know, I do my best to try to be flexible with certain places, you know, and work it out. But in one place I got picked up busking. I played there for a while, and I probably would have made more money staying on the street. But however, you know, people, I've noticed too, people associate you with the environment that they see you in.
Right.
So like being from the street, playing on busking here or there, you know, on Pack Square, somehow maybe it seems like you're pulling a bigger, you know, like you're pulling a bigger show. I think that's how people look at it. They seem like it's a bigger show than maybe the Woolworths thing, which feels like a bigger show than the Iron, just because of the setting. You know what I mean? Like I do feel that kind of sense that, like, you know, they feel like people feel like they're involved in that sense, you know.
Right, and you know, and I think the buskers here kind of squeeze around, especially Friday and Saturday night.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And you don't often see, you know, the singular guy with the guitar without a band on Saturday night at 10 o'clock at night. You know,
I mean, I like it. Well, I know the Charlie Patton, they said they could hear that guy from like 300 yards away, you know, like some of the old blues guys. So there's definitely another reason to get your chop. Don't sing from the throat, everybody. Don't blow yourself out, you know.
Right.
But however, you know, it's definitely, you have to deliver, and you see certain songs that resonate. And jug band music is a music for me that has it's really brought me full circle, like, to how I approach my own music and what I think works on the street. So this is one of my favorite places to play because of the street, because of the community. You know, there's a lot of options. And sometimes in one day, I'll have two of those kind of things, man. You know, that's a real blessing. And I've learned that when you go back to work and you're tired because you've been playing music, I had a chef tell me one time, no one wants to hear you complain about playing music. So that's where you're done. You can't only talk to other musicians. You can't go back and talk to the working people and be like, yeah, I was on stage, so whatever, and got to play and do what I want to do. And they gave me free food and drink, and now I'm back at work. So, you know, you got to keep that on a wrap. Don't be complaining about it.
Well.
Sorry.
What you were talking about earlier a little bit was preservation of performance, you know, like folks coming out and learning to use their vocals correctly, their instrument correctly, and not only that, but the way you move and interact with the crowd and so on and so forth.
Well, it's because the way people have been doing it forever. It's just like food. Like, I'm a big foodie, and lately there's been a real unity between what people have done to this cuisine of the South. You know the number of chefs from this region have, like, gone to local ingredients or gone back to the way they've done something, because, you know, there's this homogenized idea of what Southern food is, you know what I mean? So people try to break away from that. Same thing with what this region is known for, which is bluegrass, and it's killer, you know what I mean? It's great. It's just like, it's been represented in a large way that I think there's festivals that have been going on for decades. Jug band is kind of like one of those like discovered, or I know as a literature person, there'd be authors that just found out, they just found new stuff from Emily Dickinson in their closet. You know, I feel that way about the jug band stuff. It's like there's this whole realm of music that, like, I remember hearing one track, and when I lived in Knoxville, I bought this CD and had the Memphis Jug Band on it. I could never forget it, but I also could never place it. And I feel like it's familiar like that to people, even though they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And it's still relevant. And this new Jim Crow, you know, prison songs are still relevant. They will put you away for natural life.
Very much so.
They will put you away for 99 years. You know, like you hear that reference, and like it's scary that it's relevant. You know, it's like not like, oh, this is something, you know, you think if you were singing that song in Denmark, it'd be like, oh man, this isn't true anymore. I'm not sure about the rules of Denmark, but some more liberal Nordic country, you know.
Yep.
In short, you know, that's my little soapbox political drop to the new Jim Crow. Great book, by the way.
All right, we got a few minutes left here.
All right, I'm sing one more.
Yeah,
all right.
You want to fit one in?
Yeah, I'll fit one in. I'll sneak one in there.
Sure can. Why not?
What I can do.
All right, folks, if you're interested in becoming part of this broadcast, email us at buskerbroadcast@gmail.com, or come down and find Billy Scribbles with the Spoon Lady and drop a little note in our box, or catch us between sets or whatever, and let us know how to get a hold of you.
Now, before I start the song, I want to highlight a very relevant Busker story, which I've already told you 3 times, but I'm over there at Pack Square, sitting on the bench, busking not too long ago, and a little 5-year-old girl with an I Love Spoon Lady bumper sticker on her shirt, tagged on her shirt, right in her stomach. I'm playing, she's listening for a while, and then her dad brings her over to me, and she timidly asks if I know any Train songs. So, I mean, that's Asheville. I'm like, there's a little girl wearing an I Love Spoon Lady shirt requesting Train songs. This is a very good day.
FTRA.
Anyway, you know, shout out to you, Abby, for doing it, and Billy, and the people that are organizing. I'm not the best organizer and haven't attended every meeting, but the ones I have attended have I think have been super helpful, have brought things to light, and decision making is a little messy process, like making biscuits. Before you get biscuits, you feel like you've done something wrong. You've combined all these things, and your hand is clubby, and it's sticking, and you feel like this isn't food. This is like, you know, and you risk like going back into the dark ages and eating paste if you don't press forward and make the biscuits. Time to make the biscuits. I'm just a Yankee in the South, so I need 3 names, and I'm trying to make biscuits, trying to just, you know what I'm saying, get in with y'all. This is called The Chains of Denial, another original co-written with Mr. Andrew Miller, arranged by myself.
Question of existence, but I'm pressing on through my days, amazed by the ways that I can fool myself. A court jester in a bottle, I drink it empty, now I'm drunk. Outcast through my words, someone else is always first to be the one to see me. The chains of denial weigh me down. My arms are tied, my legs are tied, shackled to a list of conviction. Shackled to a list of conviction. To fight an ethic with your morals, to play insane when you're mad. Machine against machine, a battle of the self. But who's waving flags when it's over? Who's waving flags when it's over? Chains of denial weigh me down. My arms are tied, my legs are tied, shackled to a list of convictions. Shackled to a list of convictions. but I'm pressing on through my days, amazed by the way that I can fool myself. A court jester in a bottle, I drink it empty, now I'm drunk. Outcast through my words, someone else is always first to be the one to see me. The Chains of the Nile. That was written by Mr. Andrew Miller, my high school buddy. And I just worked it into this style of mine.
All right, folks, we've got to get on to taking a break so we can get our next folks in here. Thanks for coming in.
Yes,
it was
thank
awesome.
you. Thank everyone out on the street there. Holler at me. I'm Stevie Lee Combs. I'm at the, just, find me.
Yeah, we'll be posting
Oh, it's
Stevie
all
Lee's
good. I'm not trying to work it out.
information so that you can find him.
Just holler at me.
We'll make it easy to find him. All right, folks. You're listening to WPVM 103.7 FM in Asheville. You can listen to us online at WPVMFM.org. And we're getting ready for our next feller to come in. And we're going to take a quick break. So stay tuned and stay with us while we switch off to a little bit of bus break. And remember to get a hold of us if you're wanting to be part of this broadcast.